Good morning, and welcome to Redeemer Lutheran Church. I'm Pastor Gary Lodeholt. I call my pastoral articles in Redeemer's newsletter Sightings to reflect the unusual ways I have seen or encountered God lately, and I share them in the hopes that my readers will begin to look for God in their lives too. I may have shared this one with you before, but it's one of the most unexpected ways I ever saw God, and one of my favorite stories. Here's what I wrote in April of 2007. Some things you might not know. There are male pine trees and female pine trees, and the males are the ones that put out all this yellow stuff all over the place, hoping it will find a female tree. The pollen on your car may have come from Alabama. Pine pollen is very buoyant and can travel in the air for hundreds of miles. If you're having sinus trouble, you can't blame the pine trees. Their pollen is too big. You are reacting to all the other pollen out there along with it. In China, they collect pine pollen manually and eat it as a delicacy and a health food. It's a nuisance that we get really tired of for about 2 weeks every spring. I bet you knew that last one. As I write this, my car outside is covered in a dusting of yellow-green grains, and I know that there's no need to wash it yet because it would be covered again by the time I finished. And the weather has been wonderful, but we don't dare open the windows at home or we'd have yellow-green furniture. I hear people talking about their eyes, particularly if they wear contact lenses. I hear sniffles and coughs during sermons, and it's the only time when the need for a rain to wash it all away seems to be the topic everyone talks about. It's a real harbinger of spring, but one we typically can't wait to be over, in part because we know that dogwood and azalea season is almost here. To me, pine pollen means that something else is almost here too. You see, I really like pine pollen season. When I see my yellow car, I get a satisfying feeling somewhere deep inside that life has won again. We've come through another winter. Cold temperatures, bare branches, bitter winds, dark days. But the story didn't end there. No. Spring has come, and in the mystery far beyond my understanding, our dead, barren world bursts forth into life before our eyes. The future is embraced. The promise is fulfilled. That's the message of the pine pollen. Yes, it's spring, but the pine pollen means even more that it's Easter. Easter, that wonderful, astounding, stunning gift of grace that assures us that as dark and empty and barren as our world may seem, as bitter and biting as death itself seems, it's not the end of the story. From a tomb, life came forth. Easter means the future is embraced. Easter means the promise is fulfilled. Easter means that all that is wrong, God has now made right. And that grace is pervasive everywhere, covering everything, just like the pine pollen does. Death isn't the end. Life is. Rejoice in the yellow stuff. Pollinate the world with the news. Jesus lives. God insists on life. Thanks for watching, and remember to let this day belong to God.